Welcome to another edition of The Best Pictures. I am one of your hosts, Joey Powers.
And I'm your other host, Don Tretler.
And as you can tell by the background here, today we are going to be discussing movies by the Coen brothers, Joel and Ethan Coen. Don and I have, between the two of us, we've seen just about all the movies they've done. I think you actually, the one that's not on here, Hail Caesar, I think you have seen as well.
I did. Yeah, I borrowed Hail Caesar and I got to watch it recently.
I haven't seen that, so we can talk about that too if you want.
Yeah, pretty decent.
But I don't know, I guess this was something you wanted to do because one of the movies on the list was ranked 16th out of the 17 that they've done, and that was Burn After Reading, and
Right.
you disagreed with it.
Yeah, I came across this list on the internet. It says by Vulture, and it had this every Coen Brothers movie ranked from worst to best. And it had this movie, The Lady Killers, which I never even saw, I hadn't even heard of.
Yeah.
Joey saw it.
I want to say it came out like 04. Does it say? It probably says.
04.
Yeah, 2004. Yeah, 'cause I remember I was so excited because Tom Hanks with the Coen brothers, a dark comedy. You know, I was into it, and it was awful. Like I honestly don't remember much about it, and I watched the entire movie. It's just they're in this old lady's house. I even thought that they were trying to rob her, but apparently, according to that, they were trying to kill her. That's how bad it was. I didn't even remember. But one of the Marlon brothers is in it. I want to say there's a couple other relatively famous actors in it, and it just didn't do it for me at all. It was supposed to be funny, but it wasn't. Like it was like there were no scenes that made me laugh in the entire movie.
And it didn't do it for these guys. This is how they described it. A shrill, unfunny mess. It says their only true failure.
Wow.
Of all this, which means the rest of the 16 movies are halfway
Or at least
decent.
pretty good, yeah. But yeah, I would say that. It's one of those movies that I knew, and I'm a huge movie person. I know I'll never watch that movie again. Like that, if that was on TV and nothing else was on, I'd just throw in a DVD or something. It was just not good.
And that's why, looking at this list, so that's number 17, which sounds like it was a dog. You didn't like it, they didn't like it.
Yeah.
Number 16, Burn After Reading.
Burn After Reading, yes.
Which I've watched the movie completely through 2-3 times now. And what year is this? 2008.
2008, right?
Real good cast. I mean,
Excellent cast. I haven't seen it all. I just started watching it. I was interrupted twice. What I saw, but I like though. It's funny. I can definitely tell that's going to be my kind of movie.
it's got...
It's got Clooney, it's got Pitt, it's got John Malkovich. Who's the girl? Tilda Swinton, I
Tilda
think.
Swinton.
Oh yeah, it's behind
It's
me,
got
isn't it?
their wife. What's her name?
Frances McDormand.
Frances McDormand
Yep.
has a part in this too.
She's a really good actress
Yeah.
too. We'll be talking about her later for sure. Yeah, I think she's married to Joel.
And Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt has an unusual character in this.
Yes.
He's not the usual, Brad Pitt character. And
Yeah.
it's fun. He does it well. He
Yeah,
really
yeah.
plays like an idiot.
Yeah, you're used to him being like the alpha male.
Right.
And he's not in this movie at all. Yeah, he's goofy. He's funny though. He's good.
He's good. And John Malkovich is in this. Now, John Malkovich, I guess he's doing more comedies. He's not really known as being like a comedian.
I think he did those 2 Red movies, right? He was in both
did.
of those, Red and Red 2. I haven't seen them, but those are movies that have pretty good casts.
He has this bit. A couple of times in this movie, he reaches these situations and he's so befuddled that he just yells out, well, WTF, a couple of times. And it cracked me up every time because he was just at the end of his rope each time and you could get it. There's no way this is like one of their worst movies.
Yeah, that's, like I said, I haven't seen it all, but yeah.
So, to tell you the truth, I'll have a hard time finding, I bet I could find some that I liked less than this one, but they don't have any other outside that one. They really don't have any bad movies.
Right.
Except,
Well, we'll get into a discussion about that later. The one thing is with John Malkovich, like I said, I haven't seen it all, but I think of John Malkovich, I think serious. Like I think of him like in The Line of Fire. Like that was a pretty dark role. So to see him be like comedic, I think that's kind of funny. It shows how talented he is in his range.
Right.
I
just saw him in Deepwater Horizon.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
He has a bit part in Deepwater Horizon, another serious movie. Had Kurt Russell, who we did a show about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I should probably watch that.
And Kurt Russell was really good in it too.
He's generally really good. Yeah, he's a good actor. I like him a lot.
So let's see, what's the next one? How about this one? Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou?
That's one I've seen, and I haven't seen it in a really long time.
We both saw it.
It's what? Clooney, John Turturro. Is that Tim Blake Nelson, I want to say.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wasn't
Yeah.
going to be able to come up with that name.
Yeah, and Goodman. We mentioned that Goodman's in a lot of... but yeah, they escape from prison. when is it set? It's set obviously
Like in the 30s.
Yeah, a long time ago because they got the ball and chains there.
And somehow they come up with a hit song.
Yes, yes.
They go into a studio, they record a song, they put it on the radio back in the days, the heydays of radio, and it gets out to all these people and their song becomes like a huge hit.
Yeah.
It's The Man of Constant Sorrow.
Is that what it is? Yes. Yeah, I don't remember much about it. This was, honestly, George Clooney won a Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Comedy for this. And this was like one of his first bigger like leading roles where he was actually, people are like, wow, he can actually really act. You know, because I believe he was in Out of Sight before this. But that wasn't, like, Out of Sight wasn't, I don't want to say it wasn't a big release, but it just, I don't know, this one was, like, better taken, I guess, I don't know.
So this was 2000.
Yeah, I want to say Out of Sight was, like, 97.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, he was surprised that he won, you know, because there are actually some pretty big actors that were nominated that year. And he basically was like, you get all those names, yeah, you figure I'm going to win, you know, just kind of being the smart.
Had a pretty good soundtrack that went along with it.
Yeah, it did.
That was part of the big appeal of this movie, is they had T-Bone Burnett, I think, put together some of the music and stuff for it.
He did Walk the Line, and that was, yeah, he's pretty good at what he does. So, but yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a decent movie.
Yeah, not my favorite though. Not my favorite of theirs.
Just from what I've seen of Burn After Reading, I'd probably say I'd rank Burn After Reading ahead of this movie. Like, I think I'm gonna like that more than this.
I could watch it again. I could watch Oh Brother one more time.
Yeah.
The next one on our list is The Hudsucker Proxy, which neither one of us has seen.
We're skipping that one because neither one of us have seen it.
It's supposed to be good though.
Is Tim Robbins the star?
Tim Robbins is the star.
I want to feel like someone else big is in that or not.
Paul Newman.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I wasn't sure if I was confusing it with another movie.
So the two of them are.
So that's actually a pretty good. That's a pretty good cast right there. I mean.
Yeah, let's see. Tim Robbins is given control of the big-time manufacturing corporation by scheming exec Paul Newman.
Okay.
So that's pretty. That sounds pretty interesting. It should be a pretty good movie.
Two actors I'd pretty much watch anything that they're in. So I'd probably check that out.
Definitely.
There are movies on this list that I would get to before that though, because I still can't believe I forgot to watch Miller's Crossing.
Yeah.
I really
Which was next on the list.
Is it next on the list? I have not seen it. I have it at home. I had it from Netflix, and I don't know. Well, we'll get into that later. But why don't you talk about Miller's Crossing?
We looked Miller's Crossing up, and Miller's Crossing was actually their third movie, right?
Did we say it was 1990?
Yeah, it's 1990.
Right, Gabriel Byrne.
And it came after.
Came after Raising Arizona, right?
After
that was
Raising
87,
Arizona,
right?
Which was their big hit,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Joey's on it. He's on it with the years.
Good memory. It's freakish. It's very freakish.
I'm like totally like out of it. I forget which movies came out when. But Miller's Crossing was real good. It was kind of, it was interesting because they had Blood Simple, which was their first movie.
That was their first one, right.
Independent movie.
Right.
It was very, really dark. It was unusual. It was different from anything that was kind of going on at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then they came out with Raising Arizona, where they kind of took their sense of humor and they plugged it into this comedy. It was like drastically different. Went back with the third movie to Miller's Crossing.
Yeah, so it's kind of...
Which is kind of this
strange pattern.
Crime drama with twists in it. And it was Albert Finney, Gabriel Byrne.
Gabriel Byrne, yep. Was Frances McDormand in that one? Or?
I think she is in that one too. And it was good. I just remember it was a real... it was really good. It's kind of one of those movies where, you know, if you can predict the twists, then maybe you're not quite as amused by it all. But it's different because, you know, you come out with Raising Arizona, which was really funny, really super funny movie. This one's not funny at all.
Right.
So
yeah,
it's definitely worth watching.
It seems like, just based on a few movies that I've seen, if it's supposed to be a comedy, it's like a kind of like a darker comedy. But if it's not a comedy, like a movie we will specifically talk about later, there's no humor in it whatsoever. Like, there's not one scene that's funny. It's just like very serious.
Right.
So yeah, that's one I definitely want to watch. I will, because I have.
I want to watch it again. I think I've
after
seen
I
it
watch
twice.
it, you can borrow it.
Yeah, that's a real good one. The next one is Barton Fink.
Haven't seen it.
Which, you haven't seen Barton Fink?
I haven't seen Barton Fink. No.
I haven't seen it since it came out. It was in the movie theater, and this is my memory of Barton Fink. I'm watching the movie, and I was starting to get like bored. To the point where I was like, I'm going to get out of the movie
I think
theater.
you told me this, and then something happened.
And I said to myself, if something doesn't happen here in the next minute or so, I'm going to have to leave the theater. And something happened. Something huge happened. Like it was, I don't even want to.
Didn't see it coming at all, like just completely out of nowhere.
I did not see it coming, and it happened like at that moment where I was like, "This is."
Where you're
just
like getting ready to.
monotonous.
Yep.
And then it took off from there, and it was.
So it's pretty good.
It is. That's a pretty good movie. That's one of the. I don't know if I'd say it's one of the best. They've kind of rated it in the middle,
What is it?
which I like. It's
12.
John Turturro,
Oh.
and John
Yep.
Turturro doesn't really get the star turn very often. He's
No.
probably maybe a handful of times
Yeah.
in his career.
He's right behind you, looking at you.
Hey, there he is. And I think he might be an old brother. Yeah, he's in.
He's
Brother.
in No Brother Where Art Thou? Yeah.
He's in a couple of their movies, but he's not usually the big star. He's not movie. I can't even.
Well,
think
he's in
of
The
too
Big
many.
Lebowski.
Yeah, he's got another bit part in that. Another
Yep.
good one. Matter of fact, they're going to do.
He actually has a big role in Quiz Show. Have you ever seen Quiz Show? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got a big role in that. But yeah, he's generally just a bit part or
Right.
like a supporting character.
And he's a pretty good actor. I mean,
He is a good actor.
He could carry a film, but he's kind of unusual looking. He's not a lead man looking guy.
Yep.
His face is kind of like out of proportion and everything, and big hair. And,
But definitely, certainly talented. Yeah. He was. Did you see Rounders? He was really good in Rounders too.
oh yeah.
That's good. But another, again, a very small role.
And John Malkovich. was
And
in
John
that, too.
Malkovich
He
was in
playing
it
the
too.
Russian-
Yeah, he was the Russian mob boss or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good cast.
Mm-hmm.
I think they made that movie Rounders. I think they made that looking for an Academy Award with that cast.
Matt Damon, Edward Norton, Gretchen Mull. Yeah, there's some. The professor there.
Oh, I'm trying to think of who was the
What was
professor.
his name? I can't think of his name, but he's famous. It wasn't Paul Schofield, but it was. I can't think of
Another older actor.
his name. Yeah, he was really good.
The next one on the list is Hail Caesar, which I just
Which
watched.
you just watched. Good, because I haven't seen it. That's got a really good cast by the looks of it too, though.
I think it's their most recent movie.
So Clooney's done a few movies with the Coens. Between that, Burn After Reading, then you got the Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? So he's done
Intolerable Cruelty.
Tolerable Cruelty. Yep, so that's 4. So he's worked with them several times.
Yeah.
So what is Hail Caesar about?
It's a. I thought it was going to be about George Clooney. I thought he was going to be like the lead in it. He's actually it's. Oh shoot, what's his name? Josh Brolin. Josh Brolin is pretty much the lead of the movie.
He's a good actor too.
Who kind of pulls it together. And what it is Josh Brolin is like a studio executive, and he's got to kind of keep the studio together. They're doing all these different movies at one time,
Okay.
and they've got all these different subplots that are going on in the movies. You know, the one of them is George Clooney gets abducted. You know, he's like a big star, and he's on this big epic. Religious epic about Jesus, and he gets abducted.
Okay.
So, you know, there's one with a female star who, she's single but she's pregnant.
Okay.
You know, and this all takes place. Oh, I'm trying to think of what year. Maybe 40s,
Okay.
something like that.
And Josh Brolin has to kind of keep it all together.
He's trying to keep it together. That's
okay.
basically
that
the whole
sounds
gist
that
of
sounds
it.
like a good idea for a movie. That's something I think I would enjoy.
And it is. It's kind of like by the time it wraps up, it's kind of fun by the end of it.
I wish it was down a little because I feel like there's quite the cast in that movie.
Oh yeah, there is.
There's Clooney. I can see Clooney and Brolin. I don't see.
Who's the other guy in that? The younger actor. He's got a little cool bit part in it. This guy whose chin we see. The chin.
the guy with the chin. He's in it too.
The Chin Man. This was a pretty decent movie. Good to, and that's
Yeah.
the most recent one. I don't think they've done anything.
I don't
since
think
then.
they've done anything. It seems like they do movies pretty spread out. Like they don't do a movie every year. They do one like every couple of years, every few years, something like that. Although I think Intolerable Cruelty and the Tom Hanks one were like almost the
Pretty
same year.
close.
I think they were 2003, 2004. I want to say, because that was
Yeah,
2004,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And I'm
Lady
pretty sure.
Killers is 2004. Intolerable Cruelty, 2003, which
Yeah.
I know I saw the movie.
Yep.
George Clooney.
George Clooney, Catherine Zeta-Jones, then Billy Bob Thornton. I want to say there's one other person.
And I can't remember it.
Clooney, Billy Bob Thornton and Catherine Zeta-Jones are getting divorced. And George Clooney is Billy Bob Thornton's divorce attorney. And I feel like she had a famous divorce attorney too. But then her and George Clooney kind of like go back and forth. It's kind of like a battle of the sexes type thing. They had really good chemistry. It was a good movie. I don't remember a lot about it because I saw it. I feel like I saw it in 2003. And I only saw it the one time. But they had really good chemistry. It was a fun movie, you know. It's like a date movie, you know. But yeah, again, they get good casts, you know.
I was looking forward to watch it again because it really. I know, matter of fact, when I saw that title on there, I was surprised that it was a Coen Brothers movie because I didn't remember that.
I remember when I watched it, not knowing it was a Coen Brothers movie until the credits, and I was like, "Oh, this should be interesting."
Right.
'Cause I was just watching it because it just came out on HBO, and the song caught me. The song at the beginning is it's Elvis. Can't think of it, but anyway, it's a good song. I like Elvis. I heard the song, and I was like, "Oh, okay, well, let's just keep it on here for now."
That's one I got to see again. The next one on the list is Blood Simple, which I was talking about. It was kind of got their big start, 1984.
Yeah, that was.
I remember I walked into a room and somebody had it on television, and then I got sucked in.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get out of it.
Who's in this again?
I don't think they were big name actors.
No?
It was Emmett Walsh
Oh, that's right. You told me that.
he had a supporting part. And I remember one of the parts of that movie, he's some guy has like two broken arms. And Emmett Walsh says, "Well, how are you going to wipe your butt now?"
That's good.
And so they had that kind of sense of humor, you know. Even back then, they had that sense of humor, but it was kind of like a crime drama. It really was an interesting movie. It was different. When you see these, you know, sometimes now, even you see a director or more like your writer-directors where they write their own films and then direct them, that have a whole different take on things.
Right, yeah.
It sticks out. And that movie really stuck out in 1984. There was nothing. I mean, if you think about other movies from 1984 or around that time period, you had things like Tootsie and.
Yeah. I think like Chariots of Fire, Amadeus, stuff like
Yeah.
that in that time frame, Gandhi. So
And
yeah.
this was
just completely dark. right?
radically
Like,
different.
Different, yeah. Okay, I see that. Yeah, because that was kind of there was like a 2 or 3 year period where there were a lot of feel good movies out there. You got like E.T.'s out there, you know. So yeah, no.
I guess it's kind of a sign of the times. Things start to, the movies start to reflect society, or it could go the opposite way, right? Mm-hmm. They could have movies, and the movies are kind of dictating how the culture is feeling.
Could, yeah. Now,
If you're a conspiracy theorist,
correct me if I'm wrong, but they wrote and direct everything. Like they don't direct other people's movies. I feel like they write and direct their own.
I think they do, but they took some of these they took from
From
other people's
books,
stories.
from books, like adaptations.
Right, like the next one we're going to talk about, True Grit. So True Grit, basically, it was made from the book, which already had a movie made of it with
With
famous
John
famous
Wayne.
one, with
John Wayne's only Oscar
Right,
was for Best Actor.
That's pretty, that's pretty ballsy to decide you're going to make a movie of something like that. That's pretty much like an icon.
Yeah. A very iconic character, Rooster Cogburn.
But they picked a great actor.
Jeff Bridges, yeah. Jeff Bridges was really good in it. I want to say Matt Damon's in that.
He might be.
I
He
think
might
he
play
is.
he plays the Glenn Campbell part.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. But that was good. I saw the original as well. It's just hard because I saw the original and it's like it's John Wayne.
It is.
Like, how do you have someone play John Wayne? You can't do that. But Jeff Bridges did it. I mean, he's an outstanding actor.
And he puts his own spin on the whole thing,
Yeah.
too. And basically trying to keep it, I guess, closer to the book where John Wayne got to be John Wayne.
Exactly. Yeah.
And John Wayne had a great line in True Grit, The girl is like, well, aren't you going to come walk me home? And he goes, "What's the matter? You scared of the booger man or something?" Classic, great John Wayne line. But yeah, Jeff Bridges plays it a little bit closer, a little bit more of. It's not as close to Jeff Bridges himself, Mm-hmm. And I guess that's what, 2. So he's done 2 movies. He did that one, and he did the
other
one
one.
that's coming up.
The one that's coming up soon. That we'll have a discussion about.
True Grit. So yeah, that was pretty decent. It was well received. I think that had some nominations for
Yeah, it
Academy
did have
Awards
some.
that
I
year.
want to say he was nominated for Best Actor.
I'll bet.
He didn't win. I think he didn't win because he either had just previous.
I
yeah,
think
'cause
he won the year before.
He won for Crazy Heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, not very seldom do you win back-to-back years. I
No.
don't think it happened. Tom Hanks did, but other than that, I can't really think of anyone else that has recently. All right, so what's next?
Well, next was Inside Llewellyn Davis, which neither one of us got to
has
see.
seen that. It looks interesting though. That looks like something I would probably like.
2013.
Yeah,
one of their most recent
Yeah,
movies.
that was one of their.
It got good reviews. It was supposed to be pretty decent movie.
Yeah, Originally, when it came out, the predictions were maybe Oscar nominations. It didn't quite get there, but I feel like it was pretty well received. So
It was based on. They said it was based on somebody who was an actual folk singer that lived in Greenwich Village. I can't remember who it was now. Not Bob Dylan, but somebody not as well known as Bob Dylan,
but pretty famous though.
who turned out to be relatively famous. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, the next one is A Serious Man, number
You
6,
you
which
saw
I just
that.
watched.
Yeah, you just saw that. I have not seen that.
I watched the movie again because I thought I had the impression that I fell asleep on this movie and I didn't get to see the end when I first saw it. Not necessarily. I don't necessarily fall asleep because
You dislike
are
it. You're just
bad.
tired.
sometimes I'm tired
Yeah.
and I fall asleep in action movies. So if the car chase is too long for me, it's like Fast and the Furious. It's too long. I'll fall asleep. I fall asleep in Star Wars or Lord of the Rings. I mean, anything that's like these long, drawn out action things, I can't take it. It's got to be really good. So sleeping doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad movie. But I thought I fell asleep while I watched the movie and got to the end of it, and then I kind of realized why. Because it's how can I explain this movie? It has like this little prologue scene of this. This guy comes home and he says that his wagon broke down. And he says, "You'll never believe this guy helped me." The guy was like a rabbi. He goes, he helped me fix it. And I invited him to come over. And his wife looks at him and goes, "You invited him to come over?" He goes, "Yeah." She goes, "He died.
Wow.
Somebody saw him. He was at somebody's house and he died." So, and this was like an 1800s time period. And this kind of sets the stage for this movie. Well, this poor guy in the movie, he has one thing happen to him after another. And it's almost, this movie is, I don't know how to describe it. This is where they have a real talent. The Coen brothers, they could take something, it's serious and it's dark, but it's funny at the same time. It's like,
Yeah.
it's, I don't know, it's balancing. So I got to the end of this movie, and it almost leads up. They don't show you the next thing that's going to happen. It leads up, and I don't even know how to describe it without giving it away. Basically, it kind of like shows you, okay, look at this, and you have to look at the horizon at the next disaster, which makes all the previous disasters look minor in comparison.
Wow.
So it's funny because I had to laugh at certain points in this movie. There was a point, without giving this away, how can I describe this? The guy's wife approaches him early in the movie and says she wants a divorce.
Okay.
That she's going to start. She fell in love with this friend of the family, whose wife had died several years ago, right? And she's going to leave. She's leaving her husband, the main character, for this guy. And so he has to deal with that. So as he's dealing with it, well, the boyfriend ends up getting killed in a car accident.
Oh man.
And he comes home and he's like complaining to his therapist. He's like, "And now I have to pay for this guy's funeral." So it was like this type of thing where you're laughing. You're like, "I can't believe this poor guy's luck." I mean, it's like, It's just getting worse and worse. This is a good movie, and they've rated it as number 6. It very well might be up there as like the 6th best movie that these guys have made.
Yeah. I mean, you convinced me. I want to see it now.
It didn't come out to a lot of fanfare.
Well, you said no one really famous is in it, right?
No, it doesn't. It's not a cast of famous people. It's
Right.
some people they've used in movies before. I can't think of a big name actor off the top of my head. The biggest one I can think of I think his name is Richard Kind. He was kind of a character actor. He was on a television show. The one with Michael J. Fox, and he was in the White House.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or something. No, he wasn't.
No,
the mayor.
he's like
Governor.
a mayor or governor or something. Yeah, I can't think of what it was. And then Charlie Sheen took over with Michael J. Fox.
Right.
Yeah, I can't think of Heather Locklear was in it. Why can't I think of the name of it? City,
And that's
something City.
Yeah, I don't
Spin
know.
City? No.
Maybe that's it. Spin
think-
City sounds right.
What do you think, Colin?
He hasn't-
Colin, give it to go
he
ahead.
hasn't
So we're
watched
gonna
it.
say
Anyway,
Spin City.
This guy was on that television. He's the most recognizable face, and he was pretty good in this. Anyway,
What year did that come out?
this was out 2009,
Okay.
And
So relatively newer.
yeah, not a lot of fanfare. I don't think it got the release that a lot of these movies got. Such as the next movie that comes out, number 5, Fargo.
Fargo. Now we're talking. I was surprised when we looked at this list that this was number 5.
Which means there are 4 better Coen Brothers movies than Fargo, right?
I know that there's one on there that I disagree with. I thought Fargo was excellent. I remember I watched this on Christmas Day one year. My friend lived in Westminster West, and he called me and told me how good it was and that he was bringing it down to me. And I watched it right then and there. I loved it. I think they have 2 movies. I have 1 and 1A. I mean, they're just 2 absolute home runs to me, and Fargo's one of them.
Do you think it's your favorite? You're saying it's a hard choice, but it's one of your favorite.
There's
Coen
2 that
movies.
are my 2 favorites. This would definitely be number 2 or 1. Yeah, I don't know. I flip a coin. Great cast. Frances McDormand again plays a pregnant. Like, I don't know if she's the police chief or she's.
I think she is the chief of police.
And basically, this was actually William H. Macy's coming out party. I mean, he never became like huge or anything by any means, but I mean, this was a very big movie for him. He was nominated for an Oscar, actually. He essentially hires Steve Buscemi and Peter Stormare to kidnap his wife to hold her ransom so that he can get money from his father-in-law. Well, Peter Stormare and Steve Buscemi, not very stable, I guess would be the best way to do it or describe it. And things get completely out of control very quick, and the body count just starts to add up after a while. But I laugh because it's like a dark comedy. It really is. Like when you were describing the other movie there, it's like you're laughing because it's funny, but it's like at the same time it's not really funny. You know, it's like this the wood chipper scene.
Right.
I mean, when she just showed, how do you not laugh when you see him put the guy's leg in the wood chipper? Like, okay, so that's all that's left. Like, it's just, and she was great. She won Best Actress, and the Coen Brothers won Best Screenplay that year. I mean, to me that was the best picture that year, hands down. It didn't.
It didn't win Best Picture, but it very well could have.
Well, I think it lost. I want to say too with The English Patient.
Ooh.
And I haven't even seen that, but I don't know. English Patient took home like 8 or 9 Oscars that year. It actually took home Best Director too over the Coens.
Wow.
For that. But Fargo is just. I mean, what did you think of Fargo? I thought it was fun.
I agree with you. I think it might be their best.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean,
might be their masterpiece.
I love her accent. You know, she nails that movie. I'm so glad she won Best Actress for it.
And
Yeah.
William H. Macy, like you say, was really great. I think he had parts in movies before this, but this was the one that really kind of like put him on the map.
Yeah,
And he got a couple leading roles. I think he was in one called The Cooler.
Yeah, that's actually a really good movie with actually a pretty decent cast. Alec Baldwin's in that. But I thought Stormare and Steve Buscemi were great too.
Oh yeah.
You know, they were creepy, like weird. Like Peter Stormare was really like dark. Like I wouldn't mess with that guy. Like he nailed it though. I mean, I thought it was very well cast, very well acted.
Yeah.
So yeah, 5. When I saw it,
So that means there are 4 better. I
immediately-
agree with you. I don't think there are 4
I
movies better
immediately
than
said
that one.
no. And yeah, we'll get to. All right, what's number 4?
The one that comes out, The Man Who Wasn't There,
That's Billy Bob.
with Billy Bob Thornton.
That I didn't see.
I think it's shot in black and white.
Yeah, I think you're right.
If I remember right.
Yeah.
And
That's relatively old, right?
yeah, 2001.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a decent movie. Billy Bob Thornton carries a great stone face of existential bewilderment. We're going to see what he was talking about now. A man who repeatedly beaten down by what appears to be a universe with a very twisted sense of humor. It could all get very depressing very quickly, but the expressive filmmaking and stirring music. Anyway, it's a decent movie.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like I saw it maybe, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. I took it out and I watched it. A good movie.
I like Billy Bob Thornton.
It's not better than Fargo. There's no way that's better than Fargo.
Like I said, it was tough for me to see Fargo number 5. I don't know.
Number 3.
All right, here we go.
You're biting your
go.
tongue on this one. I just lent him. Is it up here?
No, I'm surprised it's not. I should have told Brian to make sure it
The
was on.
Big Lebowski.
The Big Lebowski. I'd never seen The Big Lebowski until just recently.
And it's a cult film.
It is a huge cult classic. I guess when I told Don I didn't like it, I was honest. I hated it.
Oh, my word.
I did not like this movie whatsoever. I thought, and I love Jeff Bridges. I do.
And John Goodman.
And John Goodman. I like John Goodman's character, how he just wants to just kind of kill people or whatever. You know, he's kind of psycho. But Jeff Bridges just, his character just absolutely positively annoyed me. Like, he couldn't do anything right in my mind in that movie. It just was so annoying. And I actually watched for about 60 to 75 minutes the first time, and I was like, I can't. And I turned it off. And the next night, I was like, you know what? I know we're going to talk about this. I told Don I would watch it. I just need to suck it up and watch it. And I got about an hour and a half in, and I was like, no, that's it. I'm done. It's going in the case, and I'm bringing it back to Don on Monday. I don't even care how it ends. So I didn't like it at all. I mean, and Jeff Bridges is an excellent actor. John Goodman, I don't think I've ever seen anything I didn't like John Goodman in.
Right.
You know, including this. I still liked him in this. I just, the character. Like
John Turturro.
I didn't like Julianne Moore. She was kind of creepy to me too. You know.
She was a little creepy.
Yeah. And it just wasn't for me. I don't know how else to describe it.
She has a great line in this. She goes, "Some people find my work strongly vaginal." Does that word bother you?
Yeah.
Vagina.
Yes. Yeah. She's very forward. Very forward. But I don't know. I think maybe it was just hyped up. I was expecting more.
It was too built up.
Yeah, because
probably by me too, right?
Well, a lot of people in general, they're just like, "You've never seen The Big Lebowski?" I was like, "No." They're like, "You got to see The Big Lebowski." I was like, "All right, well, one of these days I'll watch it." And I was just disappointed, very, very disappointed. But you liked it. You liked it a lot, didn't you?
I do. I like it. I've seen it over and over again. I like it a lot. I like some of the jokes in the whole movie. You know, it's gotten to a point I know some of the lines that are in it that are coming up. You know. You know, John Turturro, nobody messes with the Jesus. You know, it's just, I don't know. I like the whole thing. It's just this poor sap. You know, people. The very beginning of the movie, two thugs break into his apartment. Mm-hmm. They beat him up. They start dipping his head in the toilet.
That's gross.
You know, and then one of the guys takes a whiz on his rug.
Yeah.
And he is just like,
he's very disappointed.
He's annoyed.
Yeah.
And he finds out that he's been mistaken for a rich millionaire who's also named Lebowski, and that these guys were actually aiming for him. They were supposed to be coming to get him.
Right.
The Big Lebowski.
Yes. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Peter Stormare's in this too?
Peter Stormare's in this too.
What is he? Because
he's Carl Hungus.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. There's a scene where Jeff Bridges is in the shower or in the bathtub. What was the animal? I don't remember what the animal is.
Nice marmot, man.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. That freaked me out. I was like, get out of there. Get that thing out of there. Oh, my God. Oh, that just really
He drops this, like, weasel into the bathtub you know, Lebowski's, he's sitting in the bathtub, and he's got candles going. And
he's smoking a joint.
You know? And he's breaking and throwing the weasel.
They just start smashing stuff in his kitchen and stuff, you know. I mean, that part I did like. I thought that was funny. But no, I mean, just because we do a movie show together doesn't mean we have to agree on everything.
Well, what about the whole exchange between like the bowling team, right? Mm-hmm. So Lebowski's telling his story, John Goodman's reacting to that and telling his own stories, and then it seems like Steve Buscemi
just gets told to shut up all the time.
He keeps trying to like figure out where they're at in the story. So he'll ask a question. So the guy was wearing a red shirt. It's like, you know, butt out, Donnie.
Yeah, Donnie. Yeah,
get out of here. You know.
Yeah.
You know, actually, they use coarser language than that. But,
yes.
But basically, I mean, that's pretty funny. That's almost on that level of like John Malkovich, where, you know, they're constantly throughout the whole movie telling this poor guy to shut up.
Yeah.
And all he's trying to do is like figure out what the heck is going on.
Yeah, what is going on? And they just, like, shut up.
A lot of good, like, little things. So Joey didn't like it, but if you take the concept, what he's talking about, right, that you couldn't stand the lead character.
Yeah.
When you look at it and you go like, oh my God, and then you can't buy in, then you can't relate to the rest of it.
Exactly.
No matter how good the story would have been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I don't necessarily think the story was bad.
No, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of like a take on film noir. It's like those old movies, like Humphrey Bogart. Somebody comes to him and then he has to unravel the mystery.
The mystery, right.
And figure out the whole thing. Well, Lebowski's doing it on his own, and he's like this total...
Just stoner...
He's just this
laid back,
total waste product guy, and he's just like
unemployed. Like,
yeah, and he is like the private detective in this. He's trying to figure out, try to put all the pieces together in the whole thing. I think that's part of the amusing part of it. It's kind of funny. All right, let's get to talk about some of the good ones too. Number 2, right?
Yeah. This would be my argument between that or Fargo as my favorite Coen Brothers movie. No Country for Old Men. I don't remember smiling once anytime I watched this movie.
I don't think there's anything funny in
There
that
is
movie.
nothing funny in this movie. It is 100% dark, and it's one of, honestly, he might be the scariest character I've ever seen in a film. Javier Bardem's character, Antoine. He's just mean. Like he doesn't mess around. He's just out to kill people. That's just like his mission, and he doesn't do it nicely, you know. Outstanding movie though.
There's a scene, and it might be like the standout scene from the movie, where he goes into the gas station.
Oh, that's
and he asks a guy randomly. He asks him to flip a coin.
Yeah.
And the guy in the gas station has no idea
Yeah.
that basically he's flipping a coin for his life.
Determining if he's gonna live or die.
Tails he
Yeah.
dies, and the guy has no idea. Javier Bardem is Antoine. He's looking at him, and he's
Yeah, he asks him what he's got to win. He's like, everything, you know? And he's just like super creepy about it. Like he just heads or tails. That's it. And
it's the scene that if you haven't seen it out there, it's the scene to look up on YouTube.
yes, it's very
and
unnerving.
Because it really sets the tone for the rest of that.
Yeah,
that
and that's
movie.
fairly at the beginning, like not too far into the movie.
Yeah.
And then that's the pace. You're like, okay, I see where this guy's going. He's not there, like at all. He's just gone. He's just crazy. And the first time I watched it, I didn't like it. It's
Really?
strange, because then I watched it again, and I'm just like, this is an outstanding movie. Like, I mean, he was cast perfect. Josh Brolin was great too. Tommy Lee Jones is, I think, pretty much good in everything he's in anyway. But I mean, just
And Woody Harrelson's got
Woody
a role
Harrelson's in it too. Yep. It's just like chilling to the bone. Like it's just, it's not a feel good movie, but it's certainly a movie, absolutely 100% worth watching.
And I didn't read the book, but it's based on Cormac McCarthy.
Cormac McCarthy. Yep.
And Cormac McCarthy, the other book, the book that I did read by him was The Road, which they made a movie out of with
Was that the one you were telling me about with Viggo Mortensen?
Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
No, I put it on Netflix, but I haven't seen it yet.
I'm almost afraid to watch the movie after reading the book.
Well, yeah. I mean,
But I want to know what happens in the end. I want to know how they decide to end the film as compared to how they did in the book.
in the book.
They'll probably do something similar, but I'm guessing they'll leave you with a tone of, how it goes, this way or the other way. Again, it's almost like that other movie, like Serious Man.
Okay. Yep.
At the end of it, it's kind of like you don't see what's going to happen afterwards. It kind of leads up to this point, and then it leaves you, and you're like, okay.
Okay, I get that. So this won a bunch of Academy Awards. Javier Bardem won Best Supporting Actor, which I almost would have said he probably could have been nominated for Best Actor, because I feel like he's the main, him and Josh Brolin are the main,
Right.
more
It's
so
kinda
than Tommy Lee Jones.
It's kind of back and forth
Yeah.
in the movie between
Yeah.
the two of them. One scene with one scene with the other, until they start chasing each other.
But I mean, absolutely deserved an Oscar for his performance, regardless of what category it was in. They won, this was their second screenplay win, and they took home director and picture as well. So it won a lot of major awards. And actually, I saw on MSN, they ranked the movies from the year 2000 to 2009, or 2001 to 2000 to 2009. They ranked the top 10 movies of all time in that year, in that range, and this was number 2. And I was surprised the first one was, I think I told you this, the first one was Zodiac.
Yeah.
That's, not something that was like really nominated for anything. Like The Departed was like 3 or 4. But of all the movies, I probably would have rated this number 1 in that time period. I really liked it that much. It's tough, yeah, between that and Fargo. They're like I said, they're 1 and 1A to me.
Yeah.
So for those two not to be 1 and 2, I was very surprised, because I remember when you showed me, or when you told me about the list before I even saw it. I think I told you, okay, I guarantee No Country for Old Men is either 1 or 2, and Fargo is either 1 or 2. And you showed me, and I was like, wow, really? So
that's number 2. So there's one movie that made it that was higher than both
Fargo and No Country for Old Men. And I
that is
disagree.
Over My Shoulder, Raising
Arizona.
Arizona, which was really funny.
It was funny.
And maybe they like it because, like I was saying, Blood Simple was the first one. Small, low-budget movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was their screenplay, kind of film noir type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
This one followed it up with this, I don't know what you would call it,
Yeah.
oddball comedy.
It definitely is an oddball comedy. I mean, just look at Nicolas Cage and Holly Hunter. Look how young they look in that picture. It's just, I mean, this is what? This is 30 years ago.
Yeah.
87, right?
Yeah, 1987.
So 30 years ago. That's
Wow.
insane.
Holly Hunter is a policewoman, and Nicolas Cage is what would you call him? Like an ex-con. He's a criminal, and I guess they're kind of, you know, it's kind of a cops robbers things. Well, they fall in love,
Yes.
and she can't have a baby, so they hatch a plot to abduct a baby.
It's actually a good movie. I know it sounds kind of quirky.
It is. It's a real good movie.
it's
It
a
may
good
not be
movie.
but we don't think it's their best movie.
No,
I think
no,
we're in
certainly not.
consensus here.
Yeah.
It's not their best movie, but these guys thought it was their best.
Yes.
But these are also the same guys that didn't like Burn After Reading, which
Right.
I just raved about because I
Right.
was laughing so hard. Mm-hmm. I think because I thought the characters were great in this. There are great characters in this.
Oh,
John
absolutely.
Goodman
John Goodman, yep.
and William Forsythe
Oh, yes.
are
Yeah,
two
yeah.
two convicts that they escaped convicts and.
I think we showed the trailer for this one week on our show. 'Cause I remember watching it recently.
Right.
And because I haven't seen this in a long. I was a kid. I was in like elementary school when I saw this last.
Frances McDormand's in it. She has this great
Yeah.
line. She goes, "Did you get the baby the dip tat? You got to get the baby the dip tat."
Yeah, she's good. She's really good in everything. I mean,
Yeah.
Holly Hunter is an excellent actress. I'm not a big Nicolas Cage fan, but he's actually pretty funny in this. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would put this in my top 5, easily top 5, but not 1. Definitely not 1. Not higher than 3.
We don't have the clock going, so I have no idea how much time we got left. But what would be your top 5? Now, if you could think of them as we've talked about the 17. We kind of said Fargo and No Country.
Yeah, those
I
are
think
one and-
they'd be on mine.
Those
too.
are 1, 2. I haven't seen all of Burn After Reading. I feel like that would be my top 5 though.
That's a good one.
But I also haven't seen Miller's Crossing. I would say probably Raising Arizona 3.
There's one more page.
And
too.
I would say probably Raising Arizona 3, True Grit 4, and probably what I've seen of it Burn After Reading 5. That would probably be my top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Fargo and No Country. Raising Arizona, I liked a lot when I saw it.
Yeah, I remember liking it a lot.
I like Burn After Reading. I like Big Lebowski. I've watched that
Yep.
over and over again.
I feel like that would be in most people's top 5, Coen Brothers.
And I like this one, The Serious Man. I almost want to watch it. I almost want to watch it again, and I just watched it. I borrowed it from my brother. I'll probably watch it one more time.
I wanna see that. I'll check that out on Netflix.
I don't know. I don't remember Intolerable Cruelty too well. The Man Who Wasn't There. I don't know. And Raising Arizona was pretty hilarious. I mean, I've seen that a couple of times too.
All right, so what's 1 and what's 2? If you had to pick one, which one do you like better?
I think I like Fargo slightly better.
I think I'm honestly, I think I'm the other way around. I think I like No Country for Old Men a little better.
And I think it's because they kind of wrote the script and the whole story and everything.
Right.
And the other one's it's them taking that story, Cormac McCarthy. And it's, not that it's bad.
Right.
By any
No,
means,
not
it's
at
just
all.
Something, it's kind of them putting their twist on that story instead of having their own story.
Having
which
their
is
own
one that
original.
I really liked.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, you can't go wrong either way.
Fargo was one of those movies that both of these two movies, you're on a ride with these movies.
Oh, yeah.
You're going and it's
Yeah.
like, it's taking you and
Yeah.
you don't have those moments of being distracted and you're thinking about something else.
Not
You're
at all.
in these
Yeah.
movies. And No Country, there's some points in this where it becomes like a chase.
Yeah, like the pace of that movie, it's just like,
It's intense.
it's intense from the time you hit play until the final credits. I mean, it's like nonstop. And there's no sound. It's like, I think just that makes it creepy. You know, it's like, I didn't even realize it the first time I watched it. And then I watched it again, and I was like, wow. It's like literally just,
yeah.
it's silent. Like, you're just hearing like Mother Nature or whatever is in the background. There's no score or anything, you know?
Right.
Which is different.
Well, that could be creepy. I remember when I lived in New York City, and we moved up here. We invited our some friends of ours that lived in our building down there to come up, and they said, "Is it really quiet up there? Because I can't sleep if it's really quiet." So it's almost that whole,
Yeah, like there should be something going on here, you know?
Right.
And there's not. And I think that really makes it intense. But yeah, it's like one of those things. It's just like you hope for the best, but realistically, I mean.
Well, what'd you think about at the end? The way this movie
I didn't like
ends,
how it ended.
And it's got Tommy Lee Jones, and it tells the story of his
coffee table or whatever at his house.
And he had a dream about his father.
Yeah, I was confused. I'm still a little confused. Like, where does that fit in with everything else?
Yeah, I think the Coen brothers have a tendency, they do that. That's like The Serious Man. I watched the movie and I couldn't quite figure out what happened with this guy in the very beginning who supposedly had died. How did that go in with the rest of the story?
Right,
Because it never comes back again. You never see that story again about the rabbi.
You know, I almost want to say, what about Fargo? The money. Did anybody ever recover the money or no?
Ooh,
Because didn't Peter Stormare bury it somewhere?
I thought so.
And I don't think anybody, I think the money just stayed until like the snow melted. I just thought of that. I don't think anyone ever goes back and gets the money. So I'm going to have to watch that again to check, but I don't think they did. I think he just buried it somewhere and then gets killed.
So we've got like 5 favorites, and I think they're, between the two of us, there's like 5 we haven't seen. Llewellyn Davis.
Yep. I mean, even The Big Lebowski, though, I would recommend people seeing it because that's just my opinion. I mean, it's got a great cast. I just didn't like
The
it.
character just bugged you.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I feel like our top 5s are both pretty similar too. I do need to finish watching that because
Yeah, Oh Brother, I liked Oh Brother, but it doesn't really make the top of my list. Hail Caesar was good. Didn't blow, wasn't mind blowing. Martin Fink. Good. Who's on the end? True Grit. True Grit. As much as I liked it, it's kind of hard because you have the other True Grit.
The other True Grit, yeah. I know that's kind of tough too.
With John Wayne, and I don't know about you, I like John Wayne.
I've only seen a handful of movies John Wayne was in.
There's a lot of people
I liked.
There are a lot of people were kind of down on him. It felt like he couldn't act, but I mean the guy could carry a movie. I mean it's not like you're looking at him going, oh geez, he's totally unbelievable. You believed this guy. A lot of times they were pretty close together, like a lot of actors are. I don't think Tom Cruise is really drastically different from movie to movie. There are a few he's different.
Right. But for the main part, you're getting with a Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Or even say Bruce Willis. Mm-hmm. I like Bruce Willis. I'm not really, but he's not drastically different. It's not like Jeff Bridges can change a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
From film to film.
Yeah. Yes.
John Wayne didn't change a lot, but I think he could carry a film and stuff. He's got a bunch of movies, like maybe one a decade that was really like a classic.
Yep. Well, when you're talking about Tom Cruise, it's funny because I know we're not really talking about other people, but we have a couple minutes. So one movie that just completely threw me off base because I just never expected it, because Tom Cruise is always the good guy. Now I can't think of it. With him and Jamie Foxx.
Right.
Where he's the hitman.
Oh, what is that called?
It's
a one-word title.
Yeah, what's his face directed it? Michael Mann. I can't think of the name of it now, but he's the bad guy. And he's never the bad guy. He's Ethan Hunt. He's Jerry Maguire. He's, what's his face from A Few Good Men.
Right.
And in this, he was a bad guy too. Like, he was mean. I can't think of the name of it. It's a really good movie, though. And it just completely, I didn't know going into it that he was a bad guy. I just saw that Jamie Foxx, Tom Cruise. I was like, yeah, that's probably a good movie. Because I'll watch anything with Tom Cruise, I mean, he always gets good roles.
Well, I don't know. Now, I don't know if you're going to watch the new movie. He just came out this past week in The Mummy.
Yeah, The Mummy. Yeah, it didn't do so hot at the box. Oh, you saw it?
No. It just had gotten really bad write-ups.
Yeah, it didn't do as nearly as, they said that it's not going to make its money back here.
Wow.
But overseas, it's doing well, so.
People want to see The Mummy.
I'm going to go nuts if I can't think of the name of this movie. It's really driving me crazy because I own it. And it's a really good movie.
What is the name of that one?
It's one word. You're right. I don't know.
We'll have
It's
to
gonna
go
drive me nuts. I'm gonna look it up after we leave.
And these guys have worked with a lot of.
They seem like they work with a lot of the same people. Like Jeff Bridges is in a few movies of theirs. George Clooney's in a few. Frances McDormand's obviously married to one of them. John Goodman is in a few of them. It looks like Turturro's in a few as well.
Yeah, he's probably in 5.
I think Bardem's only been in the one. I think he was just in No Country for Old Men.
I think so, yeah.
Because he's another one that doesn't really do a ton of movies. Like he's like kind of choosy, I feel, with like the roles that he accepts.
And I guess he should be too, because after that, sometimes people get overexposed. They win an Academy Award, especially like the Best Supporting Actor or Actress.
Yeah.
And then they get kind of overexposed because it's kind of like, all right, now whoever their agent is, now we can market this person.
Exactly.
And I think he must have said, no, I'm not going to go in that direction.
Right.
And maybe he's planning on winning a Best Actor award at some point.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he's a very gifted actor, no question about it. So I mean.
There's no way you could pull that off. Like you were talking about one of the worst bad guys you've ever seen, and it's not even so much in the like expression or yelling or anything like that. It's that whole scene of that tension of the guy flipping the coin.
Yeah, and it's like pure evil, And it's just like this guy is really like insane, and he's a violent person.
Does it make you want to read the book? Does it make you want to like find out what the heck is behind that?
I don't have the attention span to read a book, so that's not going to happen. So we got to think of a topic for next week. Collateral. Collateral's the name of that movie with Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx. I think we're just about out of time.
So what were we going to do? We were talking last show about trying to do like a director. We just did a director.
We just did a director, yeah.
We did an actor before that. We did a year before that.
A year. So we'll come up with a topic, like maybe action movies, comedies, like 80s comedies, or.
That's a good idea. What should we do? We should get people to vote. People in the audience tell us what they want to see.
We should set something up so people will vote, and we'll do it.
How about war movies?
I got game with war movies. We can do that.
Let's do it, because we haven't talked about war movies.
That'll be a good one, because there are some really good war movies.
Did we do like villains one time? I'm trying to remember. It seems like we did talk about
I think we were talking about it, but I don't think we did a whole show on it.
Because I remember coming up with Darth Vader.
Yeah, I remember.
And we were like, oh, yeah, that's the...
Yeah. No, we can... let's plan on war movies next week.
All right.
So, all right, this has been Best Pictures this week. I'm one of your hosts, Joey Powers.
I'm Don Troutler. Tune in next week.
And see you at the movies.